Hi darlings, this is Christina and today I have a few Chanel goodies that I picked up from my local boutique. So if you're interested, just keep watching and let's get into it. Okay darlings, so do I feel rusty? It has been about a month since I've been on camera. A lot of holiday, birthday celebrations since November. I would say even it go as far as October. So very excited to be filming today, darling. So let me give you a little story time. Every Christmas, I always go to my local Chanel boutique, which isn't really that local. So I don't get to see them as often. Initially, Christine was my go-to. And then she took a little bit of an extended vacation and gave me James. And so I went to drop off some Christmas gifts because I always do that. I always send Christmas gifts to certain people throughout the year who, who I love and who have helped me. My beautician, my sales reps, things like that. I just want to show my appreciation. And yes, of course, your business is appreciation, but this is who I am and I love to give people who treat me well, you know what I mean? It just does something to the human soul. Anywho, I was dropping off the gifts. She was giving me a gift as well, and she asked prior to if she wanted me to ship it, and I was like, no, I'm coming out there, so just save it for me. But the day I was supposed to initially go, unfortunately, I was unable to attend this special event they were having. I was planning to go, but I wasn't able to make it. So I ended up going on a day after one of my jobs in that general area. That's typically when I go normally when I work in that area because it is a little bit of a distance for me. But the gift she wanted to give, you know what the gifts are. They are the beautiful, gorgeous snow globes. This will be my 4th snow globe. That means I've been enjoying Chanel Luxury Beauty for 4 years because I think you have to hit a certain plateau to get to receive these. It was kind of crazy. I didn't realize it had been 4 years since I've been seriously invested in Chanel, but it is my favorite beauty brand, regardless if it's luxury or not. It just is the brand that I love. So let me show this to you before we get into the spring 2025 collection. I know. It's December. So it comes in this beautiful box. So beautifully packaged. And this year, isn't that gorgeous? It's got gold, little snowflake, the little shopping bags. Oh, so gorgeous. Look at this. Beautiful. Makes me excited for Christmas, which is in like 6 days. So I'm just gonna put this in the back while we talk about the new collection. In addition to wanting to drop off the gifts, receive the gift, I also wanted to try the new foundation. I'll put it right here. It is something that has excited me since I saw the launch. I wanted to try a sample of it because sometimes I have an issue with the color matching with Chanel. So I was able to color match B50 and B42 and BR42. And the thing about the R, when it says BR, that means it has a rosy hue to it. The B, with no like other lettering behind it, is going to be neutral. And the BD is doré, which is golden. And unfortunately, the golden was like in 30 and nothing else. And I will say, I think that's the miss here. They need more shades because I use B50, but I still feel like I'm missing some gold to this particular shade. But if I was gonna pick one, it's gonna be this one. So I'm gonna do this one with you guys on camera. Still gonna play with it. I did not purchase a full one because, like I said, I don't want to have another foundation that just isn't my shade because I have several of those. So while I was there, I was also looking to purchase one of the new blushes because I heard they had reformulated from the terrible one. I complain about this all the time. When Chanel changed their formula, so they changed it one more time, and I was able to swatch quite a few, and I found one that I like, so I'm gonna go over that with you guys now. So then I was like, I can't believe I heard the spring 2025 collection. Now, mind you, let me give you a little extra. So Christine and James weren't there when I went last Saturday. They did have other associates, and one named Jacob in particular that We had the best time. I had so much fun with him. I was really only supposed to stay there for like 30 minutes to an hour, drop off the gifts, try a few things, purchase a few things, but we ended up having such a good time. And I am so sorry, guys, I didn't film anything. It was a long day. After work, I drove over there to get a few things done, and we ended up just, you know, talking, and he was just a delight. And I have to say, if you're ever in Newport Beach, the Chanel boutique there is fantastic. Every single person there is fantastic. It's such a beautiful location. I wish I had recorded just even a little bit of the outside of how they decorate. Now, if you know anything about Newport Beach, you know that it is very fancy. A lot of, you know, movie producers, famous basketball players, the ultra wealthy typically live in Newport Beach. So yeah, beautiful location, but even more beautiful people. Just fantastic experience every time. Anyway, he was like, we actually have the spring collection. I was like, do you now? I can't even believe, I was like complaining to him, I can't believe spring is out, Christmas isn't even here yet, it's so annoying. He was like, well, last year we actually had the summer release, and was it the fall release? He said, were delayed, that's why they came so close. And he's saying that happened because they were behind in their schedule. So he was like, it's better to be early than behind. And when he brought that into perspective, I was like, I suppose, but I'm just not ready to talk about spring. I want to enjoy Christmas, you know. And anyways, I'm being a little bit of a bah humbug, but those are my feelings. So I swatched a lot of things, I looked at everything, I did not record anything. I'm sorry, guys, but at this point, I know you guys have seen other YouTubers review this collection, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. I was living life in the moment, and that's what it was. The thing I ended up picking up was the Ombre's Essential, and the reason why I wanted this one in the what is this, Latte Frappe, is because it was a color I've never had with Chanel, and it is a neutral color that I love, that everybody needs. It's a staple color. So it just spoke to me. I said, you know what? If I ever wanted to do one and done shadows, I just wanted to take like one eyeshadow, one palette, this would be it. So that is Latte Frappe in 248. Very smooth, very nice color. I'm very excited. It's almost like a warm brown color. I love these colors, and it's so easy and compact, and I love the Ombre Essentials. They're definitely one of my favorite single eyeshadows. And of course, even though you guys know I'm not a personal fan of these large oversized palettes, I decided to purchase the Yeux de LUMIERES, which is the multi-face palette. So unlike the holiday collection, which I thought was beautiful, stunning, but it's not going to be something I can wear on a regular basis, right? So I thought this would be really pretty for everyday use, for highlighters, which it is, highlighters, eyeshadow. So I'm going to swatch all these and show you guys how they look. Are the colors. They are very soft, very creamy. They have a beautiful sheen. And I think this is going to be a very popular wearable everyday palette. I'm going to bring you guys in a little closer, and we're going to do this beautiful Chanel Spring 2025 collection. Although I think you can definitely get away with this for the holidays and New Year's Eve, all the occasions. So let's start with Latte Frappe, which is a matte shade. And you know what? Now, I have not used this in so long, but I am going to put on a little concealer because, yeah, you know how I feel about having just a little concealer. I am almost done with this. This is the Sublimage concealer, and this is in the color 32. It's obviously a concealer I really enjoy. It is a nice balance of coverage as well as corrector quality. It's very pretty. See? And you have to be ever so, you know, light with this. You don't need a lot. You know, this Nikki LaRose brush I initially bought for powder, but I have been really loving it as a concealer brush. Don't ask me why, but it has been really blowing my mind. I don't know if it's like the application's just so light with it. I don't know, but this is great. It's a multi-use. I use it under here. I use it sometimes as a eyeshadow brush. I, use my powder under my eyes with it. Just so many things. So now that we're a little bit set, maybe I want to put a little bit more, but especially as we get older, you don't want to overdo concealer because it will start aging you, because it'll start showing all those beautiful years of life. That's what I like to call them. The beautiful lines telling of your time here on earth, which is beautiful, but you don't want to highlight those lines there, right? I think aging is a gift, and I am happy for every year of life, but there's some things I just don't want to highlight with my age. That is under eyes. And so, yeah, see, perfect. And then I'm gonna set it with my favorite Guerlain powder. I use this really specifically for under eyes, not too much anything else, because it is very shimmery, very shiny. But yeah, let me go get my meteorites. This is in the shade 3. I love this packaging too. This is one of the special editions. They came out with another one, and I heard the meteorites were a little different in color, and it had this beautiful blue packaging, but your girl did not need that. Tap a little access off, so I did not get that. I am swimming in so much makeup, guys. It's very overwhelming. So I am being very selective about my new makeup choices in 2025. Like, I'll have a separate video on that because we're going to talk a little bit about that soon, but this is highlighting Chanel, so we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to get into the Latte Frappe. Okay. Very nice. Very pretty color. Definitely not one you haven't seen before, but guys, I have been looking for an eyeshadow palette that I can use like so easily, so seamlessly. Now this is not an eyeshadow palette per se, but it is that neutral-ish color. It definitely leans a little warmer, but it's still soft enough where you could use this on your easy everyday eyeshadow looks. Throw this all over the eye, diffuse it out quite a bit. Like, this is very strongly packed, but you can make this lighter. I'm building it up right now just so you can see the color intensity. Throw on some mascara. In my case, I put on a little, I think, shimmer either in the inner corner or on the eye, on the inner eye, and be out of the door. This is the Shokkohodo 2025 holiday collection. It's gorgeous iridescent pink finish, and this is a natural squirrel hair. I think this is the Shokkohodo goat squirrel mix. I'll let you know down below, but they came in a set of 5 on Beautylish, and look at this. First of all, I'm growing to really love the Japanese brushes. They are just so beautiful, fantastic. I just love them. And so I thought the blush brush was going to be a little closer to my favorite brush, which is the Bobo Shikkohodo, which is why I purchased it. But as you can see, they are different. So the Bobo Shikkohodo is longer, and I kind of like that because you can get a little further away, you can kind of diffuse it out. This one is closer to me, and I don't use it for blush as much, but I have been getting a lot of use out of it for different things. But I don't know if I'm going to do another video on these, but this is the 2025 collection, iridescent pink. My favorite color is iridescent, so I thought absolutely it's time to take a splurge. With that being said, we're going to use one of the brushes from that collection for my under eye. And what I love about these brushes, they're so soft, and they give a very soft, diffuse look. But let me know, guys, if you want me to do a separate video just on these brushes alone, or you just want to see me use them in the next videos that I will come out with probably closer to after the holidays, because I'm not gonna lie, it is gonna be a busy holiday season for me. It, like I said, already is, and that's not gonna stop until the 1st. You know what we'll do? We'll take the same brush, okay? My favorite Refer 16 brush. We're gonna take that deepest color here, and I'm just gonna pack it on the outer so you can see what that looks like. That is really pretty. So you see the difference between the eyes? It just gives a little bit more intensity. Very pretty. Okay, so between these eyes, you see how beautiful it just gives a little something to the eyes. I love this. So far, so good, guys. I want to say something really quick. These two, the left side of this palette is leaning more gold on me, like peachy gold, where this side leans a little pinker. So I think I'm gonna just use these shades here and then these shades on the left eye, just so you know what my vision is. So we're gonna go into this very light shade. Use my finger, just curious. I give a little more impact. That's a pretty sheen though. I'm gonna use my tiny Refer 23 brush. It's perfect for inner eye corner. So that is that. And I think I'm gonna take this bottom shade and just put it along the bottom lid. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Refer 1 brush and we're going to go into this peachy color. This peachy color kind of reminds me of the Tinted palette, which when I do my comparisons at the end, I'll probably pull that out just to see how close it is. Which, let me tell you, I was so excited for with that palette. Sorry guys, I didn't bring you in closer. So I'm gonna take this a little more. Very soft, very pretty. It looks pinker on me, I think. I'm gonna take this color here. First, I want to use my fingers and see. That's pretty. The Shikohodo brush from that collection. I'm going to take that color and just see how it lays with the brush. Very pretty. That peachy color here, and put it underneath my lower lid. So you can see the difference. The palette full of this shade on this eye, these shades, these two shades, and on this eye, these two shades. So overall, I think it's a really pretty palette. So now we're going to get into, I don't know if I'm going to do a separate review on it. I just thought we'd do all the new Chanel things. One is the B50 shade that Jacob so kindly made me a sample of. It was dark that night. Like I said, it was after work and I got off work at like 5:30. So at that point it's dark. And so there was no natural light to kind of look out of to see like what was going to be the best tone for me. So I'm gonna take it first in the back of my hand. And what I can tell you is that it is a very perfecting looking foundation. And I like that. It's like a matte, but not a drying matte. So, see guys, I think this is like the closest match, but there's still not, if you look at between my face and my neck, it's close, but it's still a little more neutral leaning than my actual neck. So that's the only thing I'm not sure about. It's a beautiful foundation though. I think you know, I don't have a foundation from Chanel that I actually wear regularly that I like refer to. I just haven't, and it's probably because of the shades, you know. I haven't found one that's perfectly like my color. But so you see, I've placed it on most of my skin, not my forehead. And see, looks pretty good. It doesn't give you, well, I'm using a fluffier brush to blend this out because I kind of want to shear it out. I don't want it to be as heavy looking. So it starts to sit down and you can see the colors are different. It's not bad though. It's like really close. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you think this is a good shade match for me. So yeah, guys, this is it. And I find with this, I did have to powder at work, and it wasn't even a warm day. It's kind of a mixture in California here. It's kind of like in the high 70s today. But when I tried this on initially, it was a cooler day, and I found that I still needed to powder, which was surprising to me because this is supposed to be, you know, a pretty mattified foundation. But overall, very nice. What I'll do now is I'm going to spray myself a little moisture before we put on the next thing. I want to show you the reformulated blush, and I will give you a comparison to the old blush. I only have one, and I don't have the one from the ones that I hated, unfortunately, but I do have one that I've still used from the original formula. So we'll swatch this one. And this is a color that's not new to Chanel. This is the color In Love. And when I was swatching in store, I found that this was the one that looked the best on me. I'm gonna swatch this here for you guys so you can see the color. You can see the finish. It's very smooth. Now this does lean very kind of peach on me, which is okay because for me, this is a very neutral color with my skin tone. Even though it's not exactly brown, it just looks very skin-like and healthy, so I was okay with that. Now blush brush, I'm gonna tap some excess off so you see how it looks. Now what I noticed about the new formula versus the one I loved is that these don't have as much shimmer in them, but they're not a flat matte. They have some luminescence to them, and from the ingredients I don't see that they have talc in them, so they figure out a way to reformulate these and make them nice without the talc, but it's not as shimmery as the other ones. Like the others used to give you a bit of sheen, these do not. So this is that. But do you see it has a little bit of luminescence to it? So that's In Love. Very pretty. It's a very neutral, natural color that will go with like any eye look that I decide to create. And yeah, so that's that. Okay, so for whatever reason my camera's not giving good light, but I forgot to actually swatch the two blushes. So the top is Evening Beige, which has been my ride or die from the original collection of blushes from Chanel that made me love them in the first place. The second is the new reformulation, which is In Love. So I wanted to give you a comparison for like the finishes. But as you can see, both smooth, both creamy, but the In Love does not have that slight shimmer that this one has in Evening Beige, but it still has a beautiful luminescence. So if you're wondering if you want to pick up any of the shades, I think it's safe to say this is a nice formula from Chanel. Not exactly the same, but definitely better than the last. I don't have anything else to reference for you, but I have heard that the colors are slightly different now. So this is the only In Love I have. So that's all I have to go off of, and I really, really like the formula. For the other side too, and I'm gonna actually use that palette again, but as like a blush topper, not really a blush. They're too sheeny for me to want to do it as a blush by itself. It needs to be a mixture. All skin has texture, that's just normal. So those sheens can highlight that, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna let it shine its best. And by shining, it's not gonna be my only blush color. So since we did this one with the brown, let's do this color here. It's a little lighter. And we'll put it over top of In Love. That's pretty. It gives your skin like a wet look. See? But being very smoothing. And over top of a blush. So it made it a little more radiant, more juicy. Like in comparison to this side, that's a little flatter. This side's a little more juicy, a little more hydrated looking, you know, like wet. Very nice. Side, and we're going to take this peachy color here. It's maybe too dense of a brush. I use this for highlight typically, this Reformulated AA01 brush, but in comparison to the Shikahodo brush, that one's a lot fluffier, but this is not doing a bad job actually. They're both working pretty well. So that is it with that beautiful peach color. That's pretty too. Very, very pretty. I want to add a little sparkle to my inner eye, just a little more sparkle. I'm going to take the Chanel Ombre Essential in Blanc Pearl. It's got that iridescent shimmer to it, that pink white shimmer. I'm just going to put that on the inner corner. I just think it's so pretty, and I think it'd be really pretty with this eye look. I love to add, you know, makeup that I already own with new makeup. It just really makes my day. There's nothing I like more than to continue to use the products I purchased and reusing them over and over again. Because guys, I am a regular person. I know I'm on here, you know, doing these tutorials and these reviews, but this is like a hobby for me. It is not my main job. So like you, I use these products on a regular basis as a regular consumer, because overall that is really what I am. You know, I'm showing you these things because I like these things and I want to show you, and I feel like there was a need in the market for a, you know, more medium skin, dark skin women to do luxury beauty, because typically that's not what you see. So that's why I'm here. That's why I made this channel, because I wanted women of all skin tones to be able to find somebody who kind of has their own kind of skin complexion and coloring, and kind of get an idea of what these colors would look like on them. So what I'm going to do with you guys, I'm going to use the new liner from, what's the holiday collection? Yes, so this is in the Brune color. And of the holiday collection, I will tell you, these are definitely the products I use most often. This is very hard to do on camera. Liquid liner. And this plum color is so pretty, especially if you have like hazel eyes, green eyes, even light brown eyes. Let me just clean up this little area here. I couldn't find my Le Volume. I have two. I have a brown color and a black, and I looked everywhere, guys. I could not find it. It must be somewhere in my car. This happens very often. So I do have a sample of the Noir, which is a very lovely formula as well. In fact, I loved it so much when it first came out that I bought so many of them, but somehow I always end up back to Le Volume. Something about it just has my heart. Like a little bit of brown. Sorry guys, I'm going to use my YSL Lash Clash. And this is in the brown color. I love this color. It's like my favorite brown. And I've been trying different mascaras, guys, because I want to like give you guys the best kind of comparison. So I've been trying a lot, and this is still by far one of my favorites. And you know I like to mix my mascara typically. I love to mix the colors because when I just do brown, it's very pretty, especially if you're just going out, you know, on a regular day doing regular things. But when you want to really go for a very full glam look, there's something about black that just does it for you. Unlike brown, like it just gives that wow factor. Now upon like kind of looking at this side is so smooth looking. This is good too, but I have to wonder if it's the brush. My AA, what is this? 01 brush. And I'm gonna go back into that gold color that I had previously, and I'm just gonna go over that to see if this denser application is what made this side look a little smoother versus like that light hand. But this side just kind of blended into my skin, like melted like butter. I don't think I've seen something melt like that so beautifully. Very nice. I'm gonna let my oils kind of set and see if that was the reason that side looked a little better. Okay, really love this. Okay, darling, so I know you're wondering, Christina, where is the lip balm? I know you picked one. I was so close to picking up that gold color, okay? So close. In fact, Jacob was like, you're basically talking yourself into it and I'm talking you out of it. And the reason why is because I recently, well, besides the fact that I have so many lipsticks, lip balms, I told him I need it like I need a hole in my head, honestly. But during one of the Sephora sales, I picked up this Ole Hendrik Preserved Peptide Lip Treatment. And this is in the rose gold shades, a special edition or limited edition. But I'm obsessed with this color, okay? It's the same kind of idea as the Chanel Balm. And when I compared them, the balms, because I believe they reformulated them, are much smoother and creamier than they were in the past, okay? Beautiful. But when I put it on my lips, because it all is based on your, you know, your lip color and the pigment in your lips, it was giving me the same vibes as this. And by the way, I purchased 2 more of these, okay, because I was so in love with it. Had I not just picked up 3 new lip balms in the similar tone, I would have picked up the balm. But as I told you in the past, I am really trying to be more mindful of my purchases. I really am. So I said no right now. I probably will pick one up later, because here's another thing Jacob told me when he was looking on his little scroll book or his little, you know, whatever they order on when they see the inventory. This is what made me not really pick it up, because I was very close. He said, it's not limited edition, Christina. This shade is going to be around. So with that, I said, okay, cool. I have time to wait, because here's the difference between this one and the Chanel one. It is unscented. This does have a scent, okay? All the Ole Hendrik Shimmer Shine Lip Balm peptide treatments have a slight scent to them. Some are you can stand, like this one's very nice. And so is the strawberry and that orange one. But some of them are absolutely terrible. So if I don't want a scent to my lip balms, I will use the Chanel one when I pick it up. I'll probably pick it up much later. If I decide to get the foundation, I'll pick them up at the same time. But it is really pretty. And if you don't have this, I think you would really like it. And I apologize, I did not get any pictures when I tried it on in store. Like I said, I was in the moment. I really don't see them very often. So to go in there and like start filming things just didn't feel right to me. You know, if I went there regularly and decide to film this time, I would, but I just didn't want to do it. I really wanted to enjoy the moment, and Jacob was fabulous. We had a fantastic time. I stayed way too long. My husband was like, babe, where are you? It's like almost like 7:30. That's just to say, like, we had a great time. So what I am going to do is use my favorite Chanel lip liner. This is how I used it the other day. And the thing I love about these is that they last for a really long time and they hydrate like the Guerlain lip oils you know I'm obsessed with. They hydrate on that level, but then I don't have to worry about it spilling because the cap keeps it safe. So, you know, from spilling out. 158, one of my favorite everyday neutral lip liners. You know that. I wear this one so often. I even have at least one backup of it always, even though I have so many lip liners. Nothing. It's just a perfect neutral pink. It's almost like my lips. See, I love this shade. I don't think I'll ever not love this shade. So buttery. Okay, then I'm gonna take, because I have so much on my hand, I'm just gonna put this over top. I wore this one day and oh my goodness, I had it on forever. It felt like it lasted for hours and hours when I was out and about on one of my off days. So, see how pretty that is? And let me tell you, it's almost gonna give me like the same vibes as the Chanel. And I'll have to put the name below. Okay, darlings, so before I give my final thoughts, I want to tell you I love this palette, okay? I know that's part of my final thoughts, but I just want to tell you that I really love it. I'm really loving this peachy color though. So it's important for me to go over these things with you, like right now. So I'm going to give you some comparisons. So the first one is the Precious Coral, which came out last year. This is the first shade. Okay, so this is Precious Coral on the top. Then we have the next one right below it. It's a few years ago, maybe? Yeah, a few years ago. Tendresse. Now that is the shade here, and that is this shade right there. Okay. And then the third color here is from the new palette, Spring 2025 collection. So this is definitely more of a pinky shift on me anyway, where the others are very peachy. This is still peachy, but it has more pink to it on my skin tone anyway, which was interesting because I thought it was definitely going to be closer to the Tendresse, but as you can see, it's not as close as you might assume, and the Precious Coral is definitely lighter in hue. I wanted to show you the Pearls de Lumiere. This is definitely a few years ago. Pearls de Lumiere right here, and the next two swatches are just from the new palette. And I would say, so I first swatched that gold color, that highlight color, and then the lighter pinkish color, and definitely I would say similar to Pearls de Lumiere, except Pearls de Lumiere is a little more of a shimmer sheen. And then the last one, I wanted to compare one of my ride or dies, which bring it out every summer, is the Eclat Lumiere in Curve Doré, and that is this color here. So very bright gold, definitely too dark for me right now, but in the summer it's fantastic for like a bronzer. So this one is from the newest palette, and how pretty. It's not as warm, so, or deep, so you definitely could use this as a bronzer. Similar to the newest Enchanted Night palette. This here color, let me just swatch it. I mean, it's only fair to at least do that. So as you can see, that color is definitely still peachier, which I didn't think it was going to be similar, which is why I didn't swatch it initially, but I think it's important to show you the differences. Okay, so let me just show you that one. I'm going to take a very fluffy brush. I'm going to take that color here, diffuse it out, and I'm just going to put it here to see how it looks, kind of as a warming agent. Not bad. I'm really gonna have to play with this more because this is a first impression for me. I wanted to wait and kind of show you guys this together. I'm gonna play with it together. It's not too rich. Then looking at myself, I want to see if the application changed how this one kind of sets on the skin. So I would say this peachy color is very smoothing on the skin. Of the two that I put on my cheeks, this one was actually the smoother of the two. All right, darling, so how do I feel about this overall collection? Stunning. I'm actually very impressed with this palette. I wasn't sure about it. I was really initially annoyed that it came out so soon. I know, that's my own gripe, just because I really want to use my makeup and enjoy it. When they launched these things like so close after I just purchased another collection like a month ago, it is like, that hasn't given me time to really play with the other one yet. But I have to say, I think it's a beautiful launch. And like I said, I think it will work for all seasons, all year round. So it's much more, I think it's much better investment if you felt like the, holiday collection was a little too rich, a little too much. This here palette is gonna suit all skin tones. Honestly, I think all skin tones will enjoy this. I also think it's an all occasion, it's just beautiful. It's not just spring to me. This is a everyday wearable palette, and I love every single shade, but this one probably impressed me the most. I also really love this Frappe Latte. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Latte Frappe, sorry. This is a beautiful neutral brown color, and it works so well with this here palette. If you're going on vacation, and you don't want to be too cumbersome with your makeup, you can just grab these two things: a liner, mascara, some lip glosses, and maybe a setting powder of some sort, and be on your way. I mean, it really is so fantastic. I know they're going to be coming out pretty soon. All, like Nordstrom's, Macy's eventually. They start to trickle down, but they're not yet on Chanel website. So hopefully this will give you one more person to compare and see if this is something that's going to work for you. But I really love the ones that I purchased, the things I purchased. Absolutely link everything that I use on my face down below. When the Chanel when Chanel actually releases this spring collection, I will absolutely let you know in my community page. Anything you choose to click and purchase under my links, I really appreciate the support. All of it goes back into my channel, and I'm a small little creator, so when you take the time to even watch my videos, like my videos, and choose to subscribe, I feel very honored and very humbled that you choose to do those things. I appreciate you deeply. I hope you have a great day, a wonderful holiday season, and I will catch you in the next one.